What's up, everyone? I'm Jamie. This is the Blades and EDC channel. Thank you all so much for being here. I want to start off by saying I hope you all have a very happy 4th of July. Get to do some grilling out and spend some time with your friends and family. And never forget what the 4th of July is. You know, it's people now just look at it as a time to drink beer and barbecue and not go to work that day. But it's a lot more than that, you know. It stands for freedom. You know, it's when we broke free of the tyrants that controlled us. Not us, but our ancestors did. And sadly, into the modern age, we are starting to get some more of those tyrants in power right now who are every day, incrementally, little by little, incremental by incremental, trying to take more and more of our freedom from us. So just remember what it's about. It's not just about the barbecue and the beer. It's about a lot more than that. So, all right. This is the Boker M4. This is a M4 Sherman, very special knife. And I also want to say something else. I wanted to take a thumbnail picture of this knife, right, for this video. And I live in Mooresville, North Carolina. So I drove, it's around 4th of July, so I'm driving downtown Mooresville. Normally there would be flags everywhere, all up and down the street, both sides. There would be American flags hanging. For some reason this year there aren't any. So I drove to the next town called Troutman, North Carolina. I'm just trying to find a good shot. I've got an American flag, but I wanted one hanging high, and I wanted to get a picture of the knife with the flag in the background kind of blurred out. I had it all in my head what I wanted to do. I couldn't find any American flags flying. It's kind of I don't know if I want to look at that as a negative or as a positive. And I'll try to explain a little bit without going too deep into it, but you know, by not flying the flag on this 4th of July, maybe they are showing patriotism because they're not very happy with the direction the country's currently going in. That's what my hope is. I hope it's just they're not patriotic anymore, and that it's just that they're not happy with where we're at right now and where we're going. So, and they're showing that by not flying the flag right now. So I'm going to go with that and assume that's what it is and hope that's what it is. But I took a thumbnail with American flag I had in the background. It's not hanging up high in the air and flying or anything, but the thumbnail has an American flag behind it. Okay, about this knife. This is made by Boker. It's made in Germany. The steel for the knife is sourced in America. It is sourced from a museum in Virginia called the Americans in Wartime Museum. And basically what Boker did was they got pieces of the Sherman tank, different pieces. They had those pieces sent to someone named Chad Nichols, and Chad Nichols forged the Damascus steel, and he did what he calls a ladder pattern. It's 80 different layers. It's 80 layer Damascus, and the ladder pattern is meant to represent the tracks the Sherman tank would leave on the ground. It's meant to look like the tank tracks, the Damascus is. And I can definitely see that in it. The way it's up and down and up and down. It looks like it could be tank tracks. I can see what they were going for there for sure. The pivot on this knife is made to look like the main sprocket of the Sherman tank. It looks like the sprocket in the front that would cause the treads to spin and make the tank move. And that's a very cool little touch there. The rest of the knife is made of stainless steel and micarta, and this micarta is burlap micarta. It was which is good because back in World War II, a lot of things were transported using micarta bags. So it makes perfect sense to use micarta for the handle, burlap micarta for the handle. Excuse me, not micarta bags, burlap bags. And for the color of the micarta, what they did was they mixed OD green with, I believe it was a excuse me, a coyote from the Marine Corps. OD green from the Army and coyote from the Marine Corps. Mix them together to get this brownish hue. It's a funky color. I don't know how well my light's going to show it, but it's kind of a brown with some hints of red in there and darker areas that is probably the green. But it turned out really good. It's perfect for this knife. These are numbered knives. This one is number 712. And these knives come in a really cool display case. I don't have that here, but it's like a rectangle box, and on both sides of the box there's a piece of heavy-duty clear plastic. It's not plastic, it's called something else. But it opens up, you sit the knife in there, close it back, and the two sides clamp it together and make it float in the air in a display case, which is super, super cool. And you can actually still buy these, believe it or not. These are not inexpensive, though. These are expensive. Boker's MSRP on these is $540, but you can find them on Amazon for like $430. So, and there's a few of them available. I think there was 4 left on Amazon. And some of the knife sites have them too, but they were like $450, a little bit more expensive. Amazon's cheapest place I have found it so far. And yeah, and this knife, believe it or not, Craig actually uses this knife. My understanding is he has another one. He has 2 of them. One of them he uses, one of them he's keeping, in the collection. So I love the fact that he's using it. One of the downsides to what this blade is made of is it's not going to be super corrosion resistant. But honestly, when Boker made this, I don't think they really were thinking about that. They weren't thinking about the corrosion resistance or anything. They were trying to tell a story with this knife. But they succeeded in telling a story, and they succeeded in making a functional tool. It's actually a really good knife. The ergos on this knife are great, fantastic, and it's the perfect size EDC knife for me anyway. I can get full 4 fingers on it. It's comfortable in hand. My Carter feels good. The pocket clip works great. I love this pocket clip. It works really well, actually. Yeah, I don't see this style clip on many other knives, and I don't have any Boker knives, and I've never really wanted to buy any until I got this in hand, because you don't hear a lot of good about Boker. A lot of people talk a lot of trash about Boker knives, and I guess there's a difference between the Boker knives made in China and the Boker knives made in Germany. So this one is made in Germany. You can see there on the M4 Sherman Damast. And on this side you get the Boker logo. And that's the city that it's made in Germany. Soligen. I'm not sure how you pronounce that. I'm probably murdering that name. But yeah, really cool knife, man. This one's special. This is a literal piece of history. This blade was on a tank that fought in World War II. I mean, how often are you going to get a chance to hold that in your hand? I wish American knife makers would do something like this. I'm sure they don't do it because there's not going to be the corrosion resistance in the blade, but that's okay. People that are going to buy something like this, they're not buying it for the corrosion resistance, you know what I mean? They're buying it for the historic value. Benchmade or Spyderco should do something like this. They really, really should. It's kind of, I find it kind of sad that a German company sourced American steel, had it forged in America, shipped back to Germany so they could make knives to sell back to Americans. Kind of the state of things we're currently in, right? All right, let's give you some size comparisons to this knife real quick. I got some that are pretty good here. The Benchmade Bug Out, very good comparison as far as width-wise. The Benchmade's a little longer. Not by much, though. And we will pull out the Spyderco Pair 3. A lot of people have one variation or another of one of those 2 knives or both. So Pair 3 is a very good size comparisons. Almost exactly the same length. Very similar in size. Let's pull out the Penguin, as I always do. Another very good size comparisons, almost identical in length. I'll give you the specs on the Boker in a minute, and we'll do the AD 20.5. So a little smaller than the AD 20.5. Yeah, very, very cool knife. Very, very cool knife. If it was in my price range, I would buy one today, but it's just not in the budget right now. And I don't know how long these are going to be around, so I'm going to try to keep an eye out and try to find one of these for sure. Hopefully I can maybe find one on secondary that's going for a little less than retail price or for what Amazon's selling them for, because I'd love to get it with the display case. And if I got it with the display case, I would just take it out, flip it a few times, oil it, and put it right back in there. So now if I had 2, I'd probably use one too, Craig. If you watch this, I'd probably use it too if I had 2 of them. I probably wouldn't be able to resist, but as you can see here from the use, it's actually, and he said the corrosion was a little worse. It's hard to even see there. It's not bad. It's a tiny little spot right there. He used, I don't remember what he told me he used to get it off, but he got it off, most of it. He oils it frequently, and I've oiled it a couple of times since I've had it here, and I will oil it before I send it back to him. But you can see the couple little black, looks like black marks right there, but not too bad. And he lives by the ocean now, so it's going to be something he's really going to have to keep up with, or put it in a case with some of those moisture removers. Yeah, very cool knife. Very, very cool knife. Let me give you the specs on it real quick. I thought I already had those open up. I guess not. Let me open those up real quick. Bear with me. Alright. Yeah, White Mountain Knives does not have it in stock anymore, but they have all the specs on it here. Alright, overall length on this knife is 6.89 inches. Blade length is 3.03 inches. Blade thickness is 130 thousandths. Damascus steel, thumb stud opener. Claimed weight is 3.77 ounces. That feels just about right to me. I was going to say 3.5. Let's check that and see how accurate it is. Here lately, most of the knives I've been doing have been very accurate. At least White Mountain Knives numbers have been accurate. 3.6, and they claim 3.77. I would call that pretty accurate. So yeah, accurate on the weight. Yeah, apparently Boker also makes one of these. I don't know if they sell it in the United States or not. They may sell it in Russia, but I'm not sure where they sell it. But they make it out of AK-47 barrels, which is pretty cool too. I'm gonna look into that one also. This would be a cool series to own one of each, you know, in those display cases. I wish I had the display case here to show you because it looks so slick in that display case. If you go on Blade HQ, Blade HQ has a video when this was coming out where they show it in the display case. I think it was at one of the knife shows last year. I think it was last year's knife show. It may have been the year before. But yeah, they show it in that little display case. I wish somebody would make those display cases like that and just sell them so you could put your own knives in them. You know, the case is pretty awesome too. Yeah, well, that is going to do it for this one, guys. This is a special one to me, and it means a lot, you know. It really, really does, especially right now, everything going on. We need to be grateful for our freedom, not take it for granted, and don't let it get taken away. Stand up for it. I'm not talking about violence, but make your voices heard. So, all right, guys, thank you so much for watching. Have a happy 4th, and I'll see you on the next one.